Got him. Here we go, got a bass. All right, so I was thinking about doing a video about the cheapest, simplest, most basic way to get started going fishing. So I decided to go to Walmart, look around at their fishing gear, and see if I could put together a combo or a whole kit as cheap as possible. And I saw something there that kind of snapped me back to when I was a kid going fishing for the first time under the intracoastal turnaround on the Kennedy Causeway down at the coast. And at Walmart they had them. It was these. We have bamboo cane pole. This cost $4.88, which is actually a lot more than they used to. The last time I looked at these a couple years ago, they were like $2.99. But $4.88, you also get a thing of line, a float, a hook, and a weight. This is the cheapest setup for going fishing that involves a fishing pole. I mean, you could grab a soda bottle or something, or a water bottle, and all you really, not even that, all you need is a line and a hook. So if you're trying to use a fishing pole, this is the cheapest way to go. $4.88, and it comes with everything you need. Of course, I'm cheating a little bit, and I brought a couple of extra hooks and a pair of pliers just in case. But I didn't buy any bait. I'm gonna look around here and see if I can forage for some bait. I mean, you could easily just go and grab a thing of night crawlers from Walmart. That's another like $4. But this is the cheapest way to do it. I'm trying to do it the cheapest way possible, and that would be finding your own bait. So let's go ahead and get this set up and see if I can find any bait. I'm gonna look underneath all these logs and stuff, see if there's any. Well, that's not a log, that's just bark. But that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna walk around, turn over logs, turn over rocks. I could have brought my dip net and just reached out and scooped up some minnows or something, which would be fairly easy to do here because it's shallow. There's a lot of access points to the water. We're looking for some kind of bug, maybe a grub, a worm, anything that I can find that I can put on this hook. You know what, let's go ahead and get this pole set up first. If you don't include yourself throwing your trash in the trash can, people just assume you throw it on the ground. Let's see, what do we got here? Very simple, not even a booklet, it's just a printout. Run your line through the tip of the eyelet and around the pole 2 to 3 times. Tie it to the pole 6 to 8 inches down. This helps hold your knot hold and takes the pressure off the tip. I'm actually going to run it down a little bit farther than that. I know this is a cane pole, so it's probably made better, but like I've tried making my own rods out of sticks and stuff before, and a lot of times they'll break, so I would tie the line down around closer to my hands. In fact, some of these cane poles have, this one doesn't, but some of them have a little line tie thing down here where you can tie the line to that. That way it's down to the bottom, so if the rod breaks, you get to keep your line. Your line's still attached. So this one doesn't really require that. Let's see how well this tip bends. I mean, that's like a regular fishing rod, which kind of gives me an idea for another video. I've done it before on another kind of cane pole, but I've always wanted to try it with one of these and see how well it would work. But converting one of these into a spinning rod or something, mounting a reel with a reel seat on it. So let's see here, where's the end of it? Through the eyelet, down. This is probably more like 10 to 12 inches. It doesn't really say how to wrap that around, but I'm just going to do it like this. Add one of these knots in the bamboo. You know what? I did that wrong. Supposed to wrap it around and then tie the tag end. I wrapped it around and tied the main end. Trying to tie it down under one of these knees or elbows or knots or whatever you want to call them in the bamboo. That way they don't slip over it. That should do it. It's not going to slip up over that knot. Cut off the tag end here. I'm going to keep this so when I'm done for the day I can wrap it up and secure everything, put it away. Let's see. Okay. See, it's got a tiny little hook on it that doesn't even have an eyelet on the hook. The way that's set up, I don't like. They're flattened. Instead of having an eyelet, it's like a spade end, I think, hook, and it's designed so the knot won't go over that. It's got a slip weight, and let's go ahead and set it about that far from the tip of the rod there. This is not nearly as long as it should be. Maybe I did put it too far down. I didn't put it that far down. I just put it like an inch or two farther than it's supposed to be. But oh well. Now we're gonna start looking for some bait. I'm just gonna hold on to the float here so I don't snag anything or hook anything. I'm looking for rotting wood and stuff like this. There's a cork. Some kind of bug. Some kind of worm, something. Some kind of movement. Spider. It's not a very friendly looking spider. It's the thing when you're looking for stuff in Texas and you're flipping over rocks and flipping over branches and logs and stuff, you gotta remember everything in Texas is trying to kill you, and there's a lot of things here that can, so gotta watch out for, you know, venomous snakes, venomous spiders, etc. And while I'm looking for bait over here, a bass just swam up and blitzed on some bait fish over here in this corner. There's a worm. Got an earthworm. Let's do it. Got an earthworm on there. Throw it out there as far as I can. Now I at least have an idea of where to look. They're in the mud. Pretty much out in the water under the rocks. Let me lower that float a little bit. Float's kind of, it's just hitting the bottom and just kind of sitting there. I'm gonna lower the float some, try to keep it off the bottom. Now I'm not seeing any of the fish anymore like I was. There we go, got one. I don't know if you saw the float go down or if I was looking the right direction, but there we go. And I get to keep the bait. It's the best part. Little bitty green sunfish that just got away. So that's the key, to keep it off the bottom. Throw it right up there in the middle again. There's a squirrel. Squirrel will work. I saw a video with a guy throwing dead squirrels into his pond and watching the bass eat them whole. YouTube has everything on it. Let's get down here in these rocks and see if there's anything. footprints, so I'm not the first person down here. There's one. Oh, I got two in there. That's interesting. Two little ones. Put these down. Set up my rod. You know, these things, these worms are really thin. Kind of hard to hook because they're so thin. So you can only get it through once or twice. There's a bass. Something bit it though before the bass could get there. Yeah, they do not want to stay on the hook for very long. I got two more here. Kind of figured it out. They want really soft dirt, almost liquid, and you flip it over and you got to try to see them or grab them in the hole before the hole fills with water. There's a big one right here. There we go. That's gonna be, there's a big earthworm right there. That's gonna be for the bass. Let's go put that one on. And then I got two of those tiny little ones. Oh, he is active. Trying to crawl his way out. Okay, I wrapped him around there a handful of times. Where is that? Oh, there's a big bass over there swimming away. It's a little bitty bass right here in front of me. Got him. There we go, got a bass. It's actually bigger than the one I was trying to catch. He came out of the rocks for it. There we go. This is the cheapest possible way to catch a fish on a pole. That was pretty nice. I was trying to get a little tiny like 4-inch bass, and that 8-inch bass came and took it instead, which I was hoping I would get a slightly larger one on that bigger worm. It's 2 fish so far, several bites. If you know how to find night crawlers, then you'll never need to buy bait or earthworms, which is what I'm using. Much smaller than night crawlers. Off camera here, I accidentally stepped on a little frog. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the frog out there as bait, because he's not going to survive anyway. Oh, got one. I looked away for a second. And we got a red belly. It would appear. Ooh, choked the hook. So this is why I brought the pliers. It's not down in there that deep, but it's deep enough I need the pliers. And you can see my frog flopping around right there. There we go, got it out. Nice fish, not a green sunfish. 3rd species, that's pretty cool. Those are much better than green sunfish. I don't know what he was planning on doing with this frog. He was a little big to be eating this frog. You know what, it's getting kind of late in the day, it's getting kind of warm. I'm getting a little dehydrated, you can probably hear that in my voice. So, I'm gonna call that a day. I caught a handful of fish, I used a handful of different baits that I found. This was a successful mission. This was the cheapest possible way to catch fish on a pole from Walmart. I mean, I guess you could make your own pole for cheaper, but getting the line and the hooks and stuff will probably cost you a little bit more than that. So we wrap everything up here and we will head back home.